Escape to a fantastical world full of wondrous creatures and mysterious happenings with our stacked list of the best fantasy games. We've got you covered with our list of the 10 best fantasy games. Let's go. Number 1. Elden Ring. From Software's latest iteration in its Souls-like genre, this newest fantasy game has released to high player numbers and even higher critical acclaim. You can read our own Elden Ring review to see why this is an excellent addition to any fantasy fan's roster. From its gorgeous open world to the monster design and its hard-as-nails combat systems, Elden Ring proves that you don't need to heavily monetize or pad a game with grindy collectibles systems. Number 2. Game of Thrones, Winter is Coming. Of course, a game based on one of the most financially successful fantasy series of all time is going to have a spot on this list. In Game of Thrones, Winter is Coming, you get to play as a lord or lady in Westeros, getting caught up in the complex political web of the world following the death of Eddard Stark. It's Immorts that sees you building your power base so that you can become one of the dominant forces in the world, building, growing, and expanding your towns and cities while developing your military force and even hatching dragon eggs so that you can add those iconic fiery lizards to your arsenal. Number 3. Neverwinter, one of the best Dungeons & Dragons games out there. This action-oriented MMORPG gives you 7 classes to choose from for your character, with each of them offering a very different style of gameplay, all of which contribute towards making the game's combat system nuanced and enjoyable. There are enchanting forests filled with all kinds of creatures, deep dark caves just waiting to be explored, and bustling cities filled with NPCs and other players. True to its source material, it also encourages creativity and features a wealth of user-generated content, meaning there's a virtually unlimited selection of scenarios for you to dive into. Number 4. Genshin Impact. For many, Genshin Impact has been a wild introduction to the world of gacha games. It's a great place to start, honestly, and few of the best free PC games can claim to offer such a wealth of enjoyable missions, likable characters, and sumptuous visuals for the price of naught. The writing can be a bit hit or miss, but even if payment gets on your nerves, there'll always be something to keep you playing, whether that be the promise of cool new loot, a fresh character, or another gorgeous sandbox area to explore. Number 5. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. With all the hype now years behind us, it's plain to see that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has gone down as one of the best PC games of all time. Its expansive fantasy world has no shortage of deeply human interactions and tales of woe, joy, and everything in between. As a fantasy game, it's arguably at the height of its powers during the Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine DLC quest lines. Here you'll find plenty of creative twists on age-old fantasy yarns, with the latter even featuring a fully explorable land of 1,000 fables. After Geralt's adventure has come to a close and you've spent dozens of hours in good company, you'll doubtlessly leave The Witcher 3 with a lump in your throat and more than a tale or two of your own to tell. Number 6. Divinity Original Sin 2. While many of us wait for Larian to finish making Baldur's Gate 3, now is the perfect time to jump into the developer's last game. Divinity Original Sin 2 is an epic RPG that, according to our review, gently encourages actual role-playing, and is supported by an unusually robust relationship between quests and simulation. Divinity Original Sin 2 Second's turn-based combat is where it shines brightest, with spells that affect the battlefield with all kinds of terrain effects. It forces you to be tactical with your spells and abilities, ensuring that your party members don't get caught in sticky situations. With well over 30 hours worth of RPG goodness on offer, and that's just the first playthrough, Divinity Original Sin 2 is a phenomenally good time. Number 7. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Skyrim has been picked apart, written about, and played more than perhaps any other game on this list, and for good reason. It's easily Bethesda's most approachable modern RPG, offering hundreds of hours of popcorn fantasy and adventuring, and there's still an undeniable charm to just wandering its world, engaging with its enjoyably awkward NPCs, and ignoring your destiny to steal some sweet rolls or fuss Roda bandit off a cliff. It certainly helps that the game's modding scene is still going strong, with many of the best Skyrim mods being just a quick download away. Number 8. Dragon Age Inquisition. BioWare has a knack for engaging settings, compelling stories, and relatable characters. Well, most of the time anyway. Dragon Age Inquisition has significantly more to it than the archetypal hero's journey that most fantasy games take you on. What sets this one apart from many, but not all, fantasy games is that you have decisions to make and an Inquisition to run. You occasionally receive intel on leads for your quest, reconnaissance into new areas, and details on how factions view the Inquisition. It's a different spin on how fantasy games usually go down, and you don't even have to make the more mundane decisions reserved for monarchs.